All right, and this was a example we already had worked on, but how do I get my data put in? Anybody? What button? Stat, thank you. And then just hit enter, right? All right, so I have different numbers. So how do I clear my list? Go up, highlight the L2, hit clear, and then hit down. And then go left and up to highlight list one, hit clear and down, and now I can put in my lists. Okay, questions? That's it. Oh, number 4. That's one that does. Sometimes it'll do that. That means there's no solution. All right, so I'm going to put in those numbers: 2, 1, 4, 7, 10, 3, 6, 9. All right, so I put those in. Hit the right arrow key. That will be top of the next list. And then $2.10, $1.50, 305, 445, 595, 175, $4, 535. All right, so I have my second list in. Okay, to do the line of best fit, what do I go to now? What button to start? Well, that's to do the actual scatter diagram. Zoom 9, right? Is it fairly linear? Yeah. You think it's pretty strong? Probably. Positive or negative? Positive. Good. All right. So what buttons do I push to figure out my line of best fit, that equation? The y equals, they use ax plus b, but we're used to mx plus b, right? So how do I get to that screen? Not my y equals. How do I get those numbers for the equation? Stat, yeah. So go back to stat. Now this time, still rolling. Why? All right, I'll just turn this off. For some reason, it kept running. All right. So Zoom 9, maybe it'll stop this time. Yeah. Okay. So I hit stat, and then what? Calculate, right? Calc. So I hit the right arrow key. And again, these are called what? Linear regression. So which number? 4, right? Number 4. You want that to show up, that lin reg. All right. Now, some of you, again, you get to this point, some of you have some things and then calculate at the bottom. Highlight calculate. With me, I can just hit enter and it'll show me those. So you should have y equals ax plus b. You should have all this. If it's not all showing up, if you don't have those r squared and r values, your diagnostics are not on. We just need to turn them back on if they're not on. You don't have them running?
Yeah.
Okay, so hit second 0. All right, and hit this button, and then hit your down arrow key until you see diagnostics on. You got it? You found it?
Yep.
Okay. So then you go back, you should get that. Landry?
So online there's like a few different versions of like the linear regression. Does it have to be corresponding with
Yeah, you want Lynn. Yeah, we want the first one, number 4. Yeah. You're welcome. Gotcha. Thanks. All right. So then my equation, do we understand what the equation is now from this information? Does everybody know where these numbers are? AJ. Okay, tell me what it is. You can look at this. Good, thank you. You guys all know where he got this? All right, it's right there. And we're just going to two decimal places. We're going hundreds. Okay? And then, what's the cost of 5 ounces of fruit? So what would I do to answer that question? Vince, what do you say? Yeah, plug 5 in for X, that's all. X is the number of ounces of fruit. Okay? So, when I do that, okay, I just hit clear to get that out. So 0.51 times 5 plus 0.87. That'll be how much it will cost for 5 ounces of fruit for my smoothie. So $3.42. Okay? I think we're getting better at where to find all that stuff in our calculator. That's what we've been practicing. Okay? Homework answers. I think you got them all right. If you don't, if you find out you didn't, you just probably put a number in wrong or forgot a negative or something. All right, so just make sure you put it in right. So we did 2, 4, and 6, right? Number 2 was -3, -1, -1, right? And then number 4, you got an error, which means there's no solution. There's no number we can put in for X, Y, and Z and make all 3 of them work. And then number 6 should be 1, 1, -3. Okay? All right, good. So today we're going to just go one more step with the same stuff, solving any system of equations with 3 variables. But we have to write the 3 equations. So we have to read a problem, write the 3 equations, and then we use our matrices to solve, okay? So here's an example of one of our problems. So you're buying new outfits for homecoming. You can buy 2 shirts, 2 pants, and 1 tie for $106. Or 1 shirt, 2 pants, and 2 ties for $98. Or you can purchase 2 shirts, 1 pair of pants, and 3 ties for $103. Find the price of each item. Okay? So I just made, since it goes shirts, pants, and ties, I would make shirts X and pants Y and tie Z. If you want to use S, P, and T, that's easier for you, that's fine. You can do that. Mm-hmm. That, count. There you go. Go down to count. All the way down, highlight it. All right, I see what the problem is. It says C instead of L1. So when we go to we got to change that to L1, which is right there second. And then it should work. Well, I don't know how that got changed. All right, so again, if you want to use S for shirt and P for pants and T for tie, that's okay. But I just did X, Y, and Z. All right, so what's my first equation? Caleb Collins. I started writing Z here. You are correct. Equals what? You guys see that? You don't have to put the 1 in front of the Z if you don't want to. All right. So what's the second equation, Cindy?
X plus 2x plus y.
This is the middle one here, the second one here. So you started right, 1x and then what?
X 2y 2
Equals,
98.
good. All right, Cole, how about the third one?
Uh, 2x 1y and plus 3 equals.
So it's not hard to write the three equations, at least a problem like that, is it? Okay, so then we just put in our calculator, all right? So my A matrix, how do we get to matrix again? Second inverse button, right? Then what? Edit, right? I use the left arrow key once. You can hit the right arrow key twice if you want. You just hit enter twice since you know it's 3 by 3 already. And then we just put those numbers in. 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 3. How do I get out of there? Right, second mode. It says quit above mode. Right, then go back in, second inverse, over to edit. I hit the number 2 for B. And then I put in 106, 98, and 103. And then I hit second mode to pop out again. Now, what do I have to make sure I type in to solve? Yeah, we got to remember A inverse B. When sometimes we mess up, we forget the inverse part. Okay? So to get A to come up, you just go second, matrix, enter, and A pops up. Then you hit this inverse button, which is the one you've been hitting without the second, so that -1 comes for inverse. And then second inverse for matrix, and then hit 2 for B and enter. So $20 for a shirt, $27 for pant, and $12 for tie. Okay?
My calculator had, when I tried plugging it in, it had an error.
When you tried to go A inverse B?
Yeah.
Okay. So you might have put a number in wrong somewhere. So if you get errors on the word problems, because the word problems should have a solution, check your numbers. You got 221, 122, 213, so that was correct. $106, $98, and $103. Yeah, you got it in right. So A inverse B. Yeah, it worked that time. So I don't know what happened. Did yours go wrong too?
Yeah.
So just hit A, set matrix name A inverse. You might have to hit the right arrow key once for the B to show up. Sometimes the newer ones are like that. All right, you guys try that one on your own, then we'll go over here in a few minutes. Did it work? work out then, the next time, Mason.
I don't know why.
Sometimes, on these newer ones, you put inverse, and it thinks it's still in the exponent mode, and I'll put it keep it up there, so maybe if you hit it right there, it'll be working.
Thank you. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't even.
Alright, you run it one time, and I don't get it.
I don't.
We'll read it a couple times.
I did.
What's revenue mean? How much money they make, right? How many seats did they sell? Right. Alright, so if there's 23,000 seats sold, what's one of my equations? So Brock is saying 75x plus what? So he's giving me, what is he telling me when he's saying 75x plus 55y? What else you telling me? Plus 30z. What's that equal? What's this going to be? Yeah, 870,000. How much you're going to make, right? You get $75 for the close ones, 55 a little bit closer, then you're out on the lawn thinking of maybe, what's it called up north? It's got that? Blossom, yeah. For a second, I couldn't remember the name of it. It's like at Blossom Music Center, right? So, that's your revenue. That's how much you make. Right? Do I understand that one? Okay. X represents what ticket? Section A, right? If you want to use A, B, and C instead of X, Y, Z, that's okay. If that makes it more understandable for you. So you're getting $75 for A section, $55 for the B section, $30 for the C section. Okay? And the revenue means how much money. All right? Since it says all 23,000 seats, remember that's the price per each seat, right? So there's so many in the A section, there's so many in the B, and so many in the C, but altogether there are how many? 23,000. So another equation is this X plus Y plus Z is 23,000, right? Because that represents the number of tickets in each section, right? There's X tickets in section A, Y tickets in section B, and Z tickets in section C, for a total of 23,000. Okay? So they're going to give you that type of information. How much you're going to make and how much you're selling, or how many tickets you could sell. All right? Now, look at that second sentence. It says there are 3 times as many seats in section B as in section A. All right? So if I'm 3 times as old as you guys, you're going to multiply me by 3 or you by 3? You guys, right? So if there are 3 times as many seats in B as in A, which one am I multiplying 3 by? The A one, right? So my other equation is the number of B tickets is 3 times the number of A tickets. Okay? Didn't say anything about the lawn tickets, did it? So from that second sentence, this one. So 3 times A equals B, right? So kids get mixed up on that. They want to go 3 times B equals A instead of 3 times A equals B. Okay? So you got to think about that. So in order to do my matrix, what's my top row of numbers? 75. You don't need the X's, right? 55 and 30, right? And then 1, 1, 1. Now this one. All right, if we get it in order, all right, I have to move this over to the other side. How do I move it over? Subtract it, right? Well, if that's gone, what's left on the right? 0, right? Okay, so what's my last row? -3, 1, 0. There's no Z, right? You put a 0 in that spot. Okay, what's my B? So this was my A matrix. What's my B matrix? That big number, and this big number, and then 0, yeah. All right, so put that in your calculator and see what that answer is. So, you just got to read it a couple times. The first time through, I understand it's tough. It takes, 3 or 4, maybe 5 times you got to read through it to understand what they're telling you. Remember, revenue is your total amount you make. And they always tell you how many things you have, whatever it is you're selling. They might give you coins too. You guys know how much each coin in somebody's pocket's worth, right? You know a nickel's worth how much? 5 cents, right? You guys know a quarter's worth 25 cents. Pennies are worth a cent, right? Dimes are 10 cents. Okay? So what's it come out to? Anybody get it? Tristan, you got
X for 1,333.33.
it? Is that right? Didn't come out to a whole number?
Yeah.
So Rock has 1353. You have 1500? All right, well, let me put mine in then, I guess. See. Maybe I did it wrong, but I'm thinking I did it right. But you never know. My old man brain might be wrong. All right. So what was our first row? 75, 55, and 30, right? And then all ones, right? And then -3, did we remember that? +1 and 0, right? And then my B was 870,000 and 23,000 and then 0, right? So that makes more sense to me. Getting whole numbers. So if you didn't get those numbers, you probably just forgot a negative, or you put a number in wrong. That's all. All right, so 1,500 and the A section, 4,500 in the B section, and 17,000 on the lawn. Okay. So usually it's just one little mistake when you're putting it in. Okay, as long as you set everything up, you'll get the majority of the points when we have tests on something like this. All right, questions? Okay, so you're writing the three equations today. Remember, if something doesn't show up, like a z or an x or a y, then just put 0 in that spot, like we did for the z in that third equation. All right, but you want to line everything up when you write your equations, right? So I didn't line it up, but I should have, underneath here, put the negative 3x plus y. And then if you want to put 0z, you can, but you don't have to. And then equals 0. All right, so just make sure everything's lined up when you do this. Questions? All right, you guys did a good job today. Just 2 problems for homework. Tomorrow we're going to practice some more of these. I got like 5 or 6 problems. Friday I'll give you a practice quiz. And then we'll go over that Monday quiz or test. It'll be chapter 1 test next Tuesday. So it'll still have our transformation stuff too.